Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So today, October 6, 2017, and we're reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th canto, chapter 8. And today we're doing text 14 and 15. So I'll just read text 14, has no purport. Evam duru tair muhur ardayan rusa sutam maha bhagavatam mahasura kadgam pragyopatito varasanat stambam tata dadita bala svamustina. Text 15, which is on the board. Tadaivatasmin ninado tibisano babuva yenan da kattaham asfutat yam vaisvadist yopagatam tva jadaya Shrudva sva damatyayam anga minere. Someone like to improve on that? Tadaiva tasmin ninado tibishano Babuva yenanda kataham asfutat Yam vaisva dishnya bhagatam tvajadaya Yam vaisva dishnya bhagatam tvajadaya Shutvasva damatyayam anga minire Shutvasva damatayam anga minire Babuva yenanda kataham asfutat Yam vaisvadishnya pakatam tva ajadaya Sudvasvadamatyam angaminire Tadaiva tasmin ninado tibishano Babuva yenanda kataham asfutat Yam vayasa disya tagatta adaja Yam vaisvadisnya pagatam tvajaya Uttasvayam dhamakata angamene Sudvasvadamatayam anga minire. Ladies? Tadaivatasmin ninado tibishano Babova yenanda katam asfutat Okay. Well, I'll read the translation for text 14. Being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakashipu, who is very great in bodily strength, thus chastised his exalted devotee son Prahlad with harsh words. Cursing him again and again, Hiranyakashipu took up his sword, got up from his royal throne, and with great anger struck his fist against the column. Okay, now we'll go word for word. Tada! At that time, Eva, just, tasmin, within the pillar, Ninadaha, a sound, Ati Bishanaha, very fearful, Babuva, there was, Yena, by which, Andakataham, the covering of the universe, Asfutat, appeared to crack, Yam, which, Vai, indeed, Svadishnya upagatam, reaching their respective abodes. 2, but Aja Adaya, the demigods headed by Lord Brahma. Shrutva, hearing. Svadama atyayam, the destruction of their abodes. Anga, my dear Yudhishthira. Menire, thought. Translation, then from within the pillar came a fearful sound, which appeared to crack the covering of the universe. O my dear Yudhishthira, this sound reached even the abodes of the demigods, like Lord Brahma. And when the demigods heard it, they thought, oh, now our planets are being destroyed. Purport, as we sometimes become very much afraid at the sound of a thunderbolt, perhaps thinking that our houses will be destroyed, the great demigods like Lord Brahma feared the thundering sound that came from the pillar in front of Hiranyakashipu. Oma Gyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chaksurlan Militam Jaina Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Jaina Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Svapatandikam Panchakalpa Tirubhischa Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Welcome everyone today. This wonderful month of Kartik. Today, as I said, it's October 6th, and I'm going to start out make an announcement. Today is my son's birthday, Mayapur Chandra Das, who's just happened to come back here to Vrindavan within days of myself. I'm now following my son. This is a good example here in the Bhagavatam today of Hiranyakashipu and his son Prahlad Maharaj. So I kind of feel like that, yes. My son, Mayapur Chandra Das, Prabhu, he's doing amazing service for the last decade. He's been overseeing Radha Kund Seva through his, they have a website, radharani.com. That's not a plug for donations, if anyone would care to give to donate. But he's been doing this for 10 years now, and they have 100 devotees, ladies, cleaning. If you go to Radha Kund, you'll see they're restoring so many of the holy places there. So I feel so blessed. One difference, Hiranyakashipu, he was not feeling very blessed by his son, Prahlad Maharaj. But I feel very blessed that Prabhupada has given me such a wonderful son. So today he's 43 years old. I happened to be serving Prabhupada the day he was born. He was born in Los Angeles, 4:15 a.m., and we were in Mayapur, where they had Mangalartik at that time at 4:15 a.m. So although he was halfway around the world, he was born in time for Mayapur Dham's Mangalartik. After he was born, of course, I was a new Grahasta, just for a year. And again, I was given the opportunity to go to India with Srila Prabhupada. So in Mayapur, it was the afternoon, and I ran into Prabhupada's room with a telegram, which was the only way communication was available there in Mayapur. No phones, no telephones. So finally a telegram came in saying I had a son. So immediately, I went into Prabhupada's room, and I was so happy to have a son. In those days, in ISKCON, if you didn't have a son, you would hide, for months. It's an exaggeration, but we all wanted sons, right? So I had a son. I went into Prabhupada. I prostrated myself. Prabhupada, my wife had a son. So Prabhupada, in his sweetness, he smiled. Very nice, he said. And then he said, you can call him Mayapur Chandra. He was blessed. First person in our whole society. He said, you'll not find that name anywhere in Shastra. He said, you'll see Navadvip Chandra, Nadir Nimai, so many things. He said, but you'll not see this name. He said, I made it up. So, very happy. My son was so fortunate to get that name. And Prabhupada, then he called in a Bengali brahmachari, came into the room, and Prabhupada, as he often did, he'd get my white bag. So I went and got his white bag. I had been with him now for almost 2 years. I knew what that meant. So Prabhupada, everything he did, every movement Prabhupada made was just cause for ecstasy. You could just sit there and watch Prabhupada move, because everything was deliberate. Nothing was accidental. Everything was done so nicely. So Prabhupada was a zipper, just watching him open the zipper was enjoyable. Seeing how he did it, Open. And then he took out rupees. I don't remember how many, maybe it was 100, 500 or something. And he didn't even give it, he gave it to the boy, and he told them to get my son silver bracelets and ankle bells. So not only did he give my son his name, and he bought him his very first gift, these silver ankle bells. So this was Prabhupada's kindness. He took service, but he always gave. He was giving, he gave us everything. But it wasn't enough for him, because he personally took care. This is our business. Now in our society, we hear this so much, devotee care, devotee care. I saw the example. I see it today with everyone here. You're all being cared for by Srila Prabhupada. And if you don't think you are, then you have to figure out how to understand that. I always say your presence here is because Prabhupada cares. He wants you to be happy. He would say to me, going to Mayapur, I remember that very same year we got there, and already the building was there, the Lotus building. Beautiful. The biggest building in all of Mayapur at the time. And it was a completely westernized style building. He didn't try to imitate or follow what his godbrothers had done. He didn't build a little temple somewhere, or a big temple. He built a guest house. Not for guests, for his disciples. Devotee care. He wasn't concerned about building a temple right away. He needed a place for his disciples to be taken care of, who were working so hard for him in such austere places. There's no austerity here anymore. What's your austerity here in Vrindavan, huh? We come here in the morning. Who thinks getting up, going to Mangalarti, taking a cold bath, is that austerity? Who thinks it's austerity? What is austerity in Krishna consciousness? Taking cold bath in the morning, is it austerity? Anyone want to? Yes, no? Yeah? Anyone else like that? Narayani Mataji, what do you think? Is that an austerity? For us, because that's what we want to do, right? This is perform austerities. You perform volunteer sacrifices in order to advance in Krishna consciousness. So what is austerity? We're here in Vrindavan. I can go over there at, whatever time it is in the morning and, for 50 rupees, get the most wonderful breakfast cooked in ghee, offered to their lordships, sit there and be very happy. I go to my home now, turn on the geyser, hot water. If it's hot, turn on the air conditioner, all these things. One morning we were at Radha Damodar Temple. It's a very important month this month. I guess I'll take a minute here and read this letter that Yashoda Mataji, is that who sent it? I'll find it in a second. Oh, there it is. Okay, this was, yes, from Yashoda Mai. So this was the glories, and this was read, I believe, by Maharaj, Janardhan Maharaj, the other day. But for those, we can hear it again since we're just beginning this Kartik. Radha is the presiding deity of the holy month of Kartik. Okay, so we're off to a very good start. It's the best of all months. It is very dear to Krishna. It is full of bhakti vatsalya, Krishna's desire to please his devotees. Krishna said, bhakti is easily attained by following a vow in Kartik. So not just to come here, be part of the scene, as Maharaj is saying, just some social. So that's what I do. I socialize. I love to see my godbrothers, my godsisters, so many wonderful devotees that inspire me to try to become better in devotional service. The perfect atonement to purify the sins of millions of lifetimes is to worship Lord Damodar in Vrindavan during Kartik. That's number 6. Number 7, the month of Kartik spent in Vrindavan brings the supreme destination. Number 8, the result one obtains by giving 10,000 cows in charity can be obtained by offering one tulsi leaf to Krishna during Kartik. In this month, one who bathes early in the morning attains the benefit of bathing in all the holy places of pilgrimage. Anyone who offers the Lord a ghee lamp in this month becomes freed from all kinds of sin and goes to the abode of Lahari. So austerity. One morning is about 5 in the morning. Prabhupada's in his room in Radha Damodar Temple. And I hear the bell ring. I was awake. My godbrothers, the secretary and Sanskrit scholar, they were still resting. And Prabhupada knew. He always knew what we were doing. This is devotee care. Doesn't just mean taking care of your body either, Sit there, have meetings. We need better food. Oh my goodness. I'm the worst. So he called me in, and he said, where are the others? That was always that. And this was my first time. I had been with Prabhupada 1 month. And at this time, of course, I could say I was as strict as I had ever been in Krishna consciousness, getting up, chanting, doing everything. It was my first year. It was my second year in a temple. So I was very fired up. I was doing everything. I went in, where are the others? They were all resting. Call them. So I called them. And this was happened a dozen times. Well, every month this would happen. Once a month. Do you do that every month? Find the people who are not going to the morning program? This is what he did. Every month he would do it. Because we were always lax, especially traveling. Like now, I just came from Hawaii. I'm up 1 o'clock every morning because of the time difference. But a week from now, if you still see me at Mangalartik, it's because I set an alarm and That's my vow. I want to be at Mangal Artik every morning, associate the devotees, see the deities. So we all went back in. Prabhupada said, why are you sleeping? And you just, yeah. Prabhupada, look, he said, you have to rise early in the morning. He said, rising early in the morning for Mangal Artik, taking cold bath. He said, it's not an austerity. He said, it's common sense. So that part wasn't an austerity. He said, that's common sense. It is. It's the best thing. I mean, if you understand Ayurveda, you have to be up early in the morning. You take cold bath. It's very good for the health. Prabhupada was up all the time, Srila Prabhupada. So he said, you have to do these things. This is the discipline. This is being a disciple. Prabhupada, it's very easy to be devotee of Krishna, huh? He explained one time, he says, devotee of Krishna means you accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yeah. That's why he said, even the drunkard, huh? He's drinking his wine. If he thinks, Krishna, he's that taste, ooh, this wine is so good, that Krishna has given this wonderful taste. That person's a devotee. Don't rule them out because they're not following like you're following. They're still devotees. But one wants to advance, and that's the discipline. Then you become disciple. Then you follow the orders of the spiritual master. And we were very fortunate. We had a very, very compassionate, lenient spiritual master. Every day if we weren't getting up, he would yell at you every day. But he didn't kick you out. He didn't say, get out of here. He would straighten you up. He would inspire you. He said, if you do these things, he said, get up, rise early in the morning, go to Mangal Artik, chant your rounds. He said, after 12 years, everything you say will be perfect. See? This was Prabhupada. This is devotee care. Every minute he was caring. And not just on the philosophical level, not just talking philosophy. It was so nice, Prabhupada, you could just talk to him. He was a person, transcendental person, right out of the spiritual world. But he would make you feel very comfortable. He would make you feel cared for. And when you're cared for by someone, what do? You want to serve them. You want to do things for them. Not the other way around. I'm working so hard, but no appreciation. Prabhupada gave so much appreciation. Another time with my son, I was with him for a while, so we got to Los Angeles, New Dwarka, and it's the afternoon. Prabhupada ring his bell. I go into the room, offer obeisances. Every day, maybe offer obeisances 50, 100 times in front of Prabhupada. He never said to me, you've done it enough today. You're going to have a pass for the rest of the day. Tomorrow you can start it. Nope. Every day, bow down, bow down, bow down. It was very good for you. If I was there for 2 minutes, I would walk in, offer, and when I was ready to leave, again offer obeisances and go. And I always was happy to do it. Because what faith I have to this day is one thing. And I'm not saying that's a very good thing to live in this way. But for me, what little faith I have is just seeing, observing every day, every moment, every second my spiritual master. There was never anything he did that was cause for questioning. Oh, that was strange. Why did he do that? Why is he saying this and he's doing this? Never occurred. And it never did for any of us. So we were inspired to serve Srila Prabhupada. We saw that he's walking, He's walking that talk, He's walking the walk. Everything he says, it's what he's doing. This was Prabhupada. So I offered obeisances and sat up. What did he say? What did he say to me as soon as I got up? Follow these stories. Get my white bag. So now he's got nice metal Elmira. Prabhupada, even he left India, he still had the same basic Elmira in his room. New Dwarka, where everything in the West, Los Angeles, big city. But his bedroom looked very much like here, it had the metal Elmira locking, always kept it locked. This is very important. Prabhupada kept everything very safely. That way you not cause for someone doing something which isn't Krishna conscious. He would say, he would help us. He wouldn't even let me carry that white bag when we traveled for about 3 months. He wanted to make sure I was qualified to carry his most important bag. Like when we travel, that bag has your passport, whatever money, maybe bank books. He had his BBT bank account. That was all in there. So it was very important. And Prabhupada, transcendental, but he was aware of everything he kept and kept it properly. Not that I'm transcendental, And if somebody stole it, oh well, that's their problem. No. Satsvarup was his secretary or servant after I left first time. Prabhupada let him carry the white bag, and in Mayapur, he left it in the ambassador. And Prabhupada's sitting on the Vyasasan, in the middle of speaking, he looks at him, and where's my white bag? You didn't want to do something like that, No. So they ran and got it. So Prabhupada was conscious of everything simultaneously. Here he is lecturing in front of all his disciples, so many things going on. He's like, where's my white bag, Always aware, always conscious. So I got his white bag, same thing, sitting there. Oh, before that, when I first went in, I'm sorry to go back, he said, get Anandi Kumar, who was living in Los Angeles now with his wife, who was his servant just before me, Anandi Kumar. So I went, I found Anandi Kumar. I said, Nanda, Prabhupada wants to see you. As soon as you heard those words, your heart would kind of skip a beat. You figure if he wanted to see you, there are only one or two things. He's going to chastise you about something, or he's going to try to get you to do something, a little more than you're doing at that time. Either way is a little scary. So when you said Prabhupada wants to see you, especially if you had been with him, that was it was exciting in an anxious way. So I get Anandi Kumar, and then we both go in, offer obeisances. And I love Anandi Kumar. He's still with us. We communicate. It's such wonderful memories of Srila Prabhupada, being with Prabhupada. And very nice educational things Prabhupada explained to him and told to him. But what I also saw with that is Prabhupada dealt with this as individuals. It wasn't just this one blanket thing. He knew the spirit saw it. This is spiritual master. He knew exactly what you needed. So one person, he's telling him, yes, very nice, you can do your hatha yoga in the morning, it's very good. And the next person would say, why are you wasting your time? Just sit and chant Hare Krishna. So the one person, he's traveling around the world telling everybody, just chant Hare Krishna, or else you're in Maya. This hatha yoga is Maya, everything's... other person, he's traveling around saying, Prabhupada said hatha yoga is very good, we should all be doing hatha yoga. We all have to know what's best for our Krishna consciousness. Whatever's favorable within Prabhupada's framework. But he certainly didn't want to turn a temple into a hatha yoga studio. That much I can say, guaranteed. He wanted a place to come and chant Hare Krishna, read his books, have classes on his books. This is what he wanted for all of us. And even coming here. And I was thinking about it. Back in 75, 76, he just wanted everybody here. All few hundred of us. 200, 300, 400. We could all sit right here together. You couldn't do that today, right? If we had the Parikram crowd here today, where are you going to keep everybody? But the program is the same. Not a different program. They go, you walk, you do your pariya, you stop, you have your morning program, you have your classes from Prabhupada's book. It's always the same wherever you are. So what Prabhupada set up, that's what we do everywhere, even in your own home. You just have the program. Like when, let me get back to the story. So, Anandi Kumar and I are both there. And Prabhupada takes out two $50 bills. This is 1974. $50 was like $500. You know, it was a lot of money. He takes them out. And I had been with Prabhupada now for almost 2 years. So, of course, he dealt with me first. And he said, "This is for your son, Mayapur Chandra." So I was never one, when Prabhupada offered me something, I did initially, I would be a little, "No, Prabhupada, no." But then I got to the point where if he offered me anything, "Thank you, Prabhupada." That's all I had to say, "Thank you." So I felt so happy. And he was happy to do it. See? These are the instructions that are there. Huh? This is Upadeshamrita, you know? Not just somebody serving, I'm enjoying this service. No, what are you doing for this person? Not just you accept service because you have some so-called, you know, like sometimes people, they see me and, you're a Prabhupada servant, they may, but what have I done, you know? When they're doing so much also. So there's reciprocation. This is love. Why are we here? Develop love of Krishna. Huh? You develop your love of, you can understand, there's so many ways to understand how we're developing our love of Krishna. Huh? One way is, how much are you loving all these God brothers, God sisters, all his other people here in the society. You can't love Krishna and, but I don't want to hang around with his devotees, you know. No. Prabhupada loved all of us. I was thinking the other day, how if we wait for that point when someone's qualified to do service, this society would never have manifested by Srila Prabhupada. So he accepts, and still to this day accepts us with all our faults to do some service. Our business is just set a wonderful example. Not just bang people over the head with criticism. Why are you doing this? Why are you doing this? I won't get into any details. But no, appreciate everyone that's serving Krishna. So Prabhupada gave me the money. I was so, "Thank you, Prabhupada." Then he turned to Anandi Kumar. He said, "Here, this is for your son." Immediately, Anandi Kumar, being much more advanced, more intelligent than I was, "Prabhupada," he said, "I can't take that. I can't take anything from you." Prabhupada looked at him. He said, "It's not for you, it's for your son. You could never, don't even try." See, that's what I learned. Don't even try to argue. No, you would never win. So what could he do? Immediately, "Thank you, Prabhupada." And he took the $50. But he cared for us in every possible way. I always say that when you travel with Prabhupada, I felt, and he was everything for us, not just our spiritual master. For me, he was my father, literally. My father died, I was 3. I was fortunate. I could say unfortunate, I was fortunate. I never had any real male influence in my life until Prabhupada. So he gave me faith. Despite all of my shortcomings, I'm still here. Said in the song, I'm still standing. After all these years, somehow or other. And despite that I have so many defects, so many faults, I actually know that Prabhupada allows me to be here. Otherwise, I couldn't have even gotten a ticket to come to Vrindavan. What to speak of walk down Bhakti-Vedanta Marg and walk into this temple. So I always feel protected by Srila Prabhupada. I always feel cared for him. And when in a temple, in any temple, when I think someone gives service, you're taken away, you're given, I always know, and I'm confident, I feel, no one can take my service away from me except Srila Prabhupada. And this is not, I'm not talking about me, this is us. No one can give it to you and no one can stop you. except Srila Prabhupada through his agencies. Hare Krishna. He's a wonderful book distributor. His whole life he's given to Srila Prabhupada. Because he knows Prabhupada loves me. The one short little, my wife Vishaka is here. We've been together 7 years now. Before that, I was married. My wife died, cancer. A few months before she left, she had 3 different visions. I'll just tell the one. She was a wonderful devotee, joined around the same time I did, 71. But raised a family, like many of us. We all had our struggles. She had her struggles, her problems. And as she went out of consciousness, I was sitting with her, and then she came back in, and she was giggling the whole time while she was laughing. She was dying, and she was laughing. So then she opened her eyes. I said, "Why are you laughing?" She said, "I just saw Prabhupada." She said he was just standing like, that's how I see him whenever I see him in my dream visions. He just looks how I always saw him. 70 beautiful silk saffron and garland around, and that wonderful smile that just says, "I love you." Just his look. You just saw the love. And she said he didn't even speak to me. She said, "But I just saw. He loves me." And she was in shock. She said, "I always thought he was disgusted with me." This is a devotee. It requires that from the spiritual master to show that. After that, everything, despite all the bodily discomfort one has going through, she had a lymphoma, her body was breaking, her bones were breaking. She never complained. And she had Prabhupada. From there, it got even better, but I can tell it if you like, or we can, yeah. So then she had 3. She went in and out of consciousness 3 times. This is faith. I know I have nothing else I can do at this point. And however bad I may be, just beg for Prabhupada's mercy. And I could be completely wrong, but my intuition and my experience seeing him with all of his disciples is he'll be there. He'll be there for me when that time comes. Wherever I go to hell, wherever it's going to be, he's going to take me by the hand and lead me there. That's what he does. Just because I did a little bit of service. You want to please your spiritual master. I was telling 1973, I believe it was, Bali Murdan and myself, we were here. I think we flew out of Bombay, I'm not sure, Delhi, but we went to Australia, to Melbourne, Australia, for the installation of Radha Krishna. Remember? Marble Radha Krishna, like this big. And we carried them. Bali Murdan and myself, we carried Radha and Krishna on the plane with Prabhupada. So we had the typical seats. Prabhupada was at the window, I'm in the middle, and Bali's there. And then if there's room, so then Prabhupada was there, and then Radharani's sitting next to Prabhupada, standing next to Prabhupada in the seat. She had her seatbelt on, and then I'm sitting, and Bali Murdan has got Krishna next to him. And we're flying. So then we had a transit lounge, and that's what happened in Sydney going to Melbourne. So they were a little heavy, marble deities. So I'm bringing Radharani in, and we're sitting in the transit lounge, and Prabhupada's sitting in the chair. He's just wonderful. Always knew just how to be. You were never embarrassed being with Srila Prabhupada. You always felt very happy to be with him, because he was a gentleman at all times, in every situation. And I'm sitting next to him, and Radharani is there, and I wasn't thinking anything. And he just looked at me, and he said, "Krishna is very pleased by your service." was in shock. He said, it's very wonderful, he said, that you're going through this. He said, carrying the deities to Melbourne for the installation. He said, Krishna is pleased. So he wasn't just saying something, Krishna was pleased. Well, how did he know? Well, Krishna's right there in his heart. So he knew, and I thought, my God, how easy it is to please the spiritual master. It's not a difficult thing. Just do something to help him in his mission. So, my wife at that time, after the first, it was very wonderful. Again, she closed her eyes. She had a fever at the time. It was 107. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but it's pretty much at death's door. It's that high. So then again, she's giggling three times. Each time she just a smile on her face and laughing. So then she opened her eyes. I said, and now I have a pencil and paper in my hand because I thought, well, this is not ordinary dealings here. This is very special stuff. And she was a special person. So she opened her eyes. I said, all right. I said, what happened? She said, and she was very humble, had a shyness. And she said, I saw two young boys. She says, and I think it was in Mayapur. She says it seemed like Mayapur. She said, and they were just running and playing and laughing. And she said, and the one of them, they looked at me, and he said, it's not your time yet. And then they just took off. She said, I don't know, maybe it was Gornitai. She said, very beautiful. Then again, in this state, she fell out, external consciousness. Again, she's smiling. And then she opened her eyes. I said, what happened? She said, I saw a blue boy. She didn't say I saw Krishna. She said, I saw a beautiful blue boy, and he was smiling. And he said, it's not your time yet. Imagine. She's got a fever of 107. It wasn't her time yet. And then he ran off. But all these things, that faith she had had her whole life, struggling. She had a lot of struggles. I've had some struggles recently. Your first thing is, why? Why me? Well, that was my first thing, was why. She never thought like that. Her line was always, I must have really done some bad things in my previous life. She didn't say in this life. She considered she was a pretty good gal. But she said, I must have really been bad in my previous life because so much pain was there. I didn't necessarily think like that. I was like, why did it happen to me? But then I realized all the blessings that I've gotten by the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. I've always had a nice place to live. From the very time I entered the temple, somehow or other, even in New Vrindavan, everybody's like 10 people in a room, young boys 18 to 20, all lying on the floor, snoring and smelling, and I always have my own room. That's why I'm still here. I think I didn't have to bunk out with a bunch of people. Because devotees, you got to think. First couple days I was lying on the floor like that. And we were all new. But if you were there for a year, you were already a veteran in devotional service. You were an advanced soul, you had been a devotee for a year. So I'm there for 2-3 days, and this guy next to me, brahmachari, we were all brahmacharis, brahmacharis and brahmacharinis. So this guy next to me is lying down, and I'm about to take rest. And he looks at me, and I was lying on my stomach. And he said, you're sleeping with Maya. I didn't even know who she was at the time. But because I was sleeping on my stomach, he said, you have to sleep on your back. He said, or you're sleeping in Maya. So many things I learned over the course of time. But I see it. Prabhupada, through his mercy, he's taken such nice care of me my entire life. Even though what I did for just a short time, he's recognized it. And he recognizes it in all of us. It's a philosophy, huh? This is your spiritual bank account. Don't forget it. And don't worry about your other bank accounts. They don't mean anything. And you're only going to get what you have coming to you. Prabhupada said, you can decide what you want to do to earn your livelihood. That you can make. But what you're going to get from it, it's preordained. It's destined. You're not going to change it. You can do it buying and selling houses or cars or cooking, whatever it is. You'll find your spot. You'll get your money, but you're not going to change what's due this life. So what does that mean? It means we spend our time doing service. This is the most important thing. And whatever that is, that we can do. But one of the very important things during this time, it's already 5 and 9. Maybe I'll just stop here. Is that okay? If anyone has any questions, comments, criticisms, advice. Shruti, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. I was thinking about how you were saying that Prabhupada comes for people, and it actually seemed like people hadn't done a lot. My mother was never actually a practicing devotee. She checked sometimes, but she was an attorney for 64 years, so she got to do legal work like writing the book trust for Srila Prabhupada. Yes. And when she was in her last days and required a caregiver at home, she's like looking in the corner talking, and the caregiver says, "Who's she talking to? Someone's here. Look, someone's here." And she said, "Who's here?" And my mother says, "Prabhupada's here." And she's talking to him, says, "Prabhupada, you've come to save me." And even though she only met with Prabhupada several times to write the book trust, that was her donation.
Yeah.
And Prabhupada came for her at the last minute.
One thing I wanted to say, I was talking about my wife that died. She went on another 3 months. It was a very painful 3 months. She said she heard from everybody. It wasn't her time. Even 2 years before, Prabhupada came to her in a dream and told her. And we didn't even know what it meant. And this is the thing, sometimes it takes time. You hear the instruction. Doesn't mean you immediately understand just because you read it. Oh, I get that. No, you don't get it. You'll get it when you get it. You'll know when you understand. So at that time, this was 2 years before her death, she had a dream. And when she woke up, she said, "I never dream about Prabhupada." She said, "I had one in 30 years. She said, Prabhupada said, and at the time we were traveling, my book had come out recently, we're going all over Eastern Europe, Russia, Ukraine, distributing books. I was speaking Prabhupada, and she was assisting me all the time, always in the background. She was very good. And Prabhupada said to her, "Accept all invitations to travel and preach." He said, "There's not much time left." Imagine, so he warned her and told her what to do. So of course, again, she says, what does that mean? He didn't say you're going to die or he just said there's not much time left. See, this is when a spiritual master, especially personally, like I know he's done that with me, he understands your mentality. Some people he just gives suggestions of what you should do because he knows you may not do it. Huh? He's so kind. Prabhupada was so kind. If he knew you weren't going to do something, he might suggest. He did that with me a lot. He knew I was just a rascal, Like when I first left him, Kirtanananda wanted me back in New Vrindavan. He said, "Please send my Sutta Kirti back." Kirtanananda gave me to Prabhupada from New Vrindavan. It was like that. I was his, I belonged to Kirtanananda in New Vrindavan. He gave me to Prabhupada. So after 16 months of being with Prabhupada, the letter was boom. So I hear Srila Kirti is getting married, he's leaving your service. Please send him back to New Vrindavan. So Prabhupada called me in the room. I didn't follow the mail. I was servant, not secretary. And secretary didn't even tell me what was going on. But Prabhupada did. Called me into the room. He said, "So Srila Kirti," he said, "Kirtanananda wants you to come back to New Vrindavan, go back to New Vrindavan. And he looked at me. He already knew what I was asking Prabhupada. I said, I don't want to go back to New Vrindavan. I had been traveled, there's a saying, in the West, we would say in America, what is it? How you going to see him, how you going to go back on the farm after you've seen Paris, after you've seen all around the world. That's the way, I've been seen temples, deities, devotees all around the world, and the idea of going back to this isolated farm, like I didn't want to do it. So I says, Prabhupada, that was it. He didn't say, no, that's what you should do. Kirtananda brought you up. Prabhupada never made me feel guilty. Even when he called me on things. Why aren't you chanting your rounds? But then he found out why and he corrected it. But he never said, you're nonsense. I got to get me a servant. Were you cooking for me or not? He didn't go through any of these things. He just straightened me out. And that's all. I guess we're at time. Any other questions? Hare Krishna.
As you were mentioning that being in Kartik and you were giving some 8 points or 9 points, so whatever you do, you get a benefit. So this is the glory of Prabhupada. He has given us this opportunity to come in Kartik and do some service in Dham. So feel that we are fortunate by mercy of Prabhupada and by Krishna that we have come here and we are doing some service.
And I have one request. All of you are here today. I want to make a very difficult vow during this month. I don't want to hear any criticism, and I don't want to speak any criticism. So if you got any designs on it, if I walk away from you, it's because I don't want to deal with it. For 1 month, just give me one month, and I'm the worst. In my mind, I criticize everybody. I confined. Because I was with Prabhupada for 2 years. Who can be like Prabhupada? Huh? So it's very easy for me. Of course, I'm the worst myself. But still, it's much easier. Like Mara said, you can't see your eyelid, closest thing. So seeing our own faults, that's difficult. Seeing everybody else's is easy because we do own those faults. They are our faults. So one of the best things, it was one at number 6, I believe. You make a vow. So I would encourage all of you. I can think of no more beneficial, like you say, what is it, 10,000 times. Of course, whatever you do wrong, it's also magnified. So if you're here just criticizing people during this month, you're going to have to deal with a lot. And I do. I'm in my situation because I am. I'm just a nonsense person. But I take this very seriously. This time I've managed to come here just in time for Kartik. I have to thank my temple president here, Panchagoda Prabhu. I consider this my home, this temple. Everywhere in the world, I've traveled to many places with Prabhupada. I've seen many temples over the years. This is the best place. This was Prabhupada's home. This was Prabhupada's home. And this is where he came to leave. Here, a special place. Take advantage of this place. It's oozing with spiritual ecstasy. It's oozing with Prabhupada's instructions, with his compassion. He'll take care of you while you're here. Prabhupada said to me, it was in Mayapur, I have 3 different times, 3 different stories, which I'm not going to tell any of them, but the one sentence he said, each time, 3 different years in Mayapur, in a certain situation, he told everybody, he heard criticism. Prabhupada never liked to hear criticism of his disciples from one another. He didn't like to hear it. So he was hearing the devotees talk in the other rooms. It was gossip. Prabhupada said gossip. He would use that word. We were better. In those days, we would always say prajalpa. No prajalpa. And Prabhupada would say gossip when he talked sometimes. And he would say, this gossip destroys your Krishna consciousness. Criticism. When he says gossip, he's talking about criticizing. Talking, you hear so-and-so, got divorced, he got remarried, or girl with this kid, or this guy, or this one's eating meat now, and so many things. Prabhupada said, it destroys. He didn't say it'll put a check on it. It'll stop it momentarily until you learn how not to criticize. It destroys it. So now imagine, here we are, we're in Vrindavan, it's Kartik. Everything, you're getting so much benefit, chanting all your... If you're criticizing, think of the outcome. I'm just talking for myself because it's going to be I require all your help with this. You want to come and talk to me? You can ask me something about Prabhupada. You have any questions, or how to get here or there? But I don't know what to do, because in this stage of life, one has to become serious. It's time to become serious for me. So with that, okay, yes, Prabhu. One last question. Yes.
You're mentioning about
Wait.
You are mentioning about Bhagavad-Gita's dream. Godinda appeared in a dream and put by Krishna. They told the time is not yet. So where is she at the point?
What?
The dream happened and then afterwards.
Which dream? Oh, the dream. It was after he said travel and preach, which was also very significant because Prabhupada was telling her she was leaving soon. What did he tell her to do? He didn't say, now he didn't say there's not much time left. Go to Vrindavan, sit there and chant your rounds very, very carefully, worship. He told her to travel, and she wasn't the one traveling and preaching. She was pushing me out there. This was what she did. She put me up there. I was talking about Prabhupada. So he said, that's what to do. So what better can we do in any stage? This is the movement Prabhupada created. Like I say, even it's wonderful to come here. He gave us this place to recharge. Whether you're going out, doing Braj, Mandala, Parikram, or you're sitting here, you're in Mayapur. The point of these places is to recharge ourselves, to go back out there for preaching, to bringing more what He's given you. That's your obligation. This is my obligation now, to give it to others, right up until the time of death. And you could be no more blessed in doing that. So this is how He instructed us at that time. So from that time, it was literally year and a half later. Year and a half went from that time until she left. Yeah. And we continued traveling until 4 months before she left. We were still traveling, and she was coming. She had a hard time even walking up. We didn't know she had cancer, but she did. Her hip was falling apart. But she was doing what Prabhupada told her to do. So if you want to progress in your Krishna consciousness, just do it. Your founder Acharya wants you to do. And if you don't know what it is, find someone who knows and ask them what you should be doing. Just find a proper person. And Prabhupada would say, everything is in my books. So read his books, come to his classes, chant your rounds, get up early in the morning. And if after 12 years it's not working, you have to go back and see what haven't I done correctly? Why am I not perfect with everything I said? These are his words. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Damodar Mas ki jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna.
It's great. Truth to Kurti Prabhu ki.